Hi there, Let's Talk Sports fans. Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great Let's Talk Sports show. I'm your host, Bodkins. It's a little skeleton crew tonight. It is myself, and we only got one other guest, one other co-host tonight, and then we will have Jim and Jonathan, I think, hopefully both joining us tonight. With Jim, we got a lot to talk about in the wrestling world. Can't wait to talk to him about all this Cody and Rock stuff. And now all of a sudden, as we're getting ready to go on air, it looks like he is back. I'm confused in what capacity, or is he wrestling? So we'll have to talk with Jim about all that information. I am currently watching the Iowa Hawkeye women. Caitlin Clark, my girl, they're up 2 at halftime. So against the number 8 seed West Virginia. So they're sticking around. West Virginia's sticking around here. Great weekend. If you missed it this past yesterday, I did a great show with NFL Outdated with Andy. If you missed it, please check that out. We did a lot of talked Bears stuff, talked Cub stuff, talked Iowa stuff. So great insight there to get the Bears, Fields versus Williams, type off. And then, so great weekend. And the brackets are shit right now. I am dead last when it comes to the 5 of us. So it'll be Milkshake City. At that point in time, Sardine Milkshake City, maybe. But maybe I got a chance I can catch up. So who knows? Nonetheless, we only got one co-host, and that is none other than always Mr. Reliable, always fulfilling his duties, Mr. First Down.
Oh, the commitments. Yes. Let's bring that up. How are you, Bubby? How you doing?
I'm all right, Sam. What's up, man? How was the weekend?
It was good. Just chilled out a lot with fam. I got a 4-day weekend coming up, which is pretty nice. Can't wait for that for Good Friday. Lots of wrestling news, still recovering from SmackDown on Friday. It's kind of funny to see LA Knight and AJ Styles do a In Your House segment. That's been a while. It's all. Oh, and of course, L'Jarius Sneed is a Titan, which is something I never thought would happen. And not only that, big pickup. Yeah,
maybe for a bag of balls, really. I mean, you did pay him a new contract. That's what he wanted. Titans come in. I did not see. I think most people will tell you they did not see that happening.
I did. I sure did. I was one of them.
Yeah. Dog is obviously spazzing out, but he's happy the Titans got L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah.
And then Justin Simmons tweets out, "Hey, what about me almost?" I mean, are you guys in the market for Justin Simmons too?
Yeah, I think we might be. We do need a safety spot to go next to Armani Hooker. So I definitely think he will be on there. I felt like he should be on the radar pretty quickly. I'm surprised he wasn't, but you weren't kidding for what they gave up. I mean, you gave up a 3rd-round draft pick next year, and you're swapping 7th-round draft picks. That's a steal. This guy is one of the best CBs last year, and now he's coming here. And once again, one of those that never thought it was going to happen. And now my secondary is looking like a bunch of bullies all of a sudden, as opposed to the meek sheep they were last year, the Swiss cheese they were last year. So
I would tell you, I would tell you this, Sam. Ron Carthon, is it Ron Carthon, right?
Ron Carthon, yeah.
Yeah, he has put a team together here very quickly for your new head coach. So I don't know if it's like must pressure to win now. But there's a lot of talent on the field and a lot of talent. And then, so it puts a lot of pressure on, Will Levis and the new coach Callahan to try to at least maybe not finish first, but at least, be respectable, right? Like it can't be, 6-10. I think you got to be finished close to 500 or above.
It's Rand, Carlos, like all things, you're wrong again. Anyway, so he freaking
Carthon, Ron Carthon, green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a shit?
Cooking Rand Carthon. Him and Chad Brinker. Chad Brinker is assistant GM, but he's technically in charge of the draft and helps out with free agency. Is kind of where Rand Carthon has all the that coach is about to drop all the noodles on the thing. Thank you, babe. Just put it right there. Appreciate it. Got food, ladies and gentlemen. Food. Yeah, good job, honey. Anyway, but he came in and Chad Brinker came in. Chad from the Green Bay Packers. And they have really kind of turned this thing around. I think they look at it like a complete philosophy change and how can they hurry that along, and that's to get all these guys together. I mean, I think a lot of people around here, I mean, I don't remember an offseason like this ever. We were never I don't know what Carlos is talking about in chat. It's really weird. But never have we had an offseason where we've just gotten so much. I mean, you've got Ridley, you've got Awuzie, now you've got Snead. And I mean, Bud Adams would have never done this. So
the running back.
Pollard. Yeah. It's just a lot. We signed like 11 guys, and it's shocking to me to actually be in it. But like you said, it doesn't mean they're going to win the South or anything. But everybody's getting better around you, so you're going to have to wake up and smell the coffee and try to do something.
Yeah, I think this is to me a quick, turnaround as far as what they've added. And, puts a lot of pressure on the coach, a lot of pressure on, Will Levis to produce. You know what I mean? They got the dudes now. They got some dudes. And you said it early on, like, I think you said it a month and a half ago, hey, a lot of people are saying a lot of people are going to come here to Tennessee to play, that we're going to go out and get a guys. I might have been dismissive of that of what you said. I was like, I don't know about that. Like, who's really wanting to go to Tennessee without Vrabel? Well, guys are going, and you guys had the cap space and maybe the time to do so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, of course you overpaid for Calvin Ridley, but by the time his contract is up, it'll be about time to perhaps pay Will Levis or another quarterback or whatever. Like, we never do something like this. Can we just have this one without anybody going, well, they overpaid for blah, blah, blah. It seems like anytime there's a move made from people that like these super teams or whatever, it's like, well, they overpaid for him and blah, blah, blah. And I just not much of a fan.
You're paid, you're paid what people are willing to pay you. That's what I view it as. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're never overpaid. You're paying what somebody's willing to give you. And, maybe nobody else was willing to pay Ridley that kind of money. And, from the outside in, but you guys, when you're at a spot where the Titans are, where maybe you're not a team that's on, a top tier team yet, you're trying to build, you're going to have to overpay for some guys that, you know what I mean? Where you're going to have to reset the market on a guy, because, the Jags did that a couple years ago with Christian Kirk, right? Like everybody's like, man, they way overpaid for a guy like Christian Kirk. Well, Christian Kirk's produced well, and he's played well for them. And they have, when you're a team like that, a team was bottom, and you're like, you know what? We're gonna pay a little extra money because we want him to come here. Because if we don't, the drop off between him and the next guy that, what people will say we didn't, overpay, then it'll be like, well, we paid this guy, but he ain't producing, so we'll have to pay a little bit more money for him to come here, because if he go into a top contender, he's probably going to get less money because their cap space isn't as good. Where the Titans had a lot of money to spend, and they well spent it. I mean, they're in here. Carlos is talking about Pollard was a reach. I don't know. Tony Pollard's he's not your number one back because Tajay Spears should be number one.
Tajay Spears is the number one back. I think Pollard's an insurance policy. He catches the ball, Spears catches the ball. So, I mean, I think that's how it works. Friend of the show and lead singer of Matchbox 20, Rob Thomas, is in that. I ran track with Chad Brinker, and his mom is super nice. She's friends with my wife. Rock on. Good to know.
I don't know who Chad Brinker is. Who's Chad Brinker?
So Chad Brinker worked for the what's the science of football and sports now? You know what I'm talking about. It's not logistics; it's analytics. He ran the analytics department for the Green Bay Packers, and then so now he's got his assistant GM job. We're kind of that next stepping stone for him to reach.
I got you. Now he's the assistant GM in Tennessee.
Yeah, like head of player person, whatever they like to call them, all the crazy titles.
Yeah. Hold on, pop that last question out there to Carlos there. Where insurance is St. Liberty or Allstate? The very last comment here. Yeah, well, Carlos, you do have to have insurance. That's what backups are. That's called insurance. Right. You got to have shit set in case shit happens. In case Tajay Spears gets hurt. In case Tony Pollard gets hurt. That's why there's two positions. There's multiple players at every position because that's the insurance in case one guy gets hurt. Every team in the NFL has more than one running back. There's not even a bell cow back on any team hardly at all. The Titans were probably the last team to have one with Derrick Henry. Every other team's got two backs. So I would not say that every team's got. You better have an insurance policy. The one position where you need to have one the most is quarterback, and no team does have that. Or where two capable starters, where you feel okay. Maybe the Browns now with Jameis Winston. I'm thinking of, but there's not a whole lot of teams that have a good insurance policy. The Steelers, I guess, with Russ and Justin Fields. So speaking of that, Sam, Mike Tomlin said loves Justin Fields. Oozes out, oozes, playmaking ability. I think we all see that, but has said hey, right now, as we sit March, Russ is our number one, but Fields could maybe if he falters, Fields could possibly be a one. What's your thoughts there?
He could possibly be a one. I mean, you have to have an insurance policy for Russ because you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, I have no clue what we're going to get. He seemed to get better for Denver as it went on. But, I mean, Russ, it wouldn't surprise me if he cooks a little bit. I don't think Arthur's an incompetent – he's an incompetent head coach, not an incompetent –
I don't think they're going to ask him to let him cook. I don't think you're going to ask him to let him cook, right?
Right.
You just hand the ball off, make smart throws. We'll find another receiver. They did get rid of Deontay Johnson's gone, but they still have George Pickens. They still got their tight end. His name's escaping me right now. Pat Fairmouth. Still got Move.
Fairmouth. I think it's Fairmouth. I think it's Fairmouth.
They'll start. The Steelers are notorious for finding receivers, right? In the later rounds, or maybe they even take one in the first. But they'll find somebody to kind of fill in Deontay's spot.
Yeah, I know. I agree that they'll figure something out. I mean, I'm a big fan of Art. I'm trying not to be biased or anything like that. He was here for almost 20 years. He came to the season ticket member functions. He's a great guy and whatever else, and he worked really hard. So I would like to see him bounce back with the Steelers personally. But, I think he could probably – if he could do what he did for Ryan Tannehill for Russ, I mean, they're going to look just fine. They'll look just fine. And, I mean, you don't have to do anything too crazy, just a nice intermediate, concise pass every now and then. Or, hey, it's a third and long that you need to convert or anything like that. And Russ can still run for the most part. So I think they're planning on it. But it wouldn't surprise me. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see Fields? Do you think we'll see Fields anytime this year?
Unless Russ gets hurt or he's just incapable. But Russ, for what it was worth, in Denver last year wasn't as bad as year one, right? Year two was 20. I think he threw 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And obviously didn't play the last 2 or 3 games there in Denver. So why not? Yeah, I think it could be Russ. And then if he gets hurt or something, you have Justin Fields, who is very capable backup.
I'm pretty sure
it could be a stronger on some of the teams.
Yeah, a little wrestling tidbit here. I'm recording it, but that sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Thank you, Alan. Decided to put Drew McIntyre.
I didn't catch it. It came on at the same time, but is CM Punk Is he wrestling at WrestleMania? And if once Jim gets on, we'll have to ask Jim, but as well. But I wasn't sure if Punk is actually wrestling at WrestleMania because he was coming on as we were getting ready to go. So I don't know there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't want him to do this thing where somebody's not really ready to come back and they put over like a crappy match, and they're like, "This is a great thing." Oh, what did Iowa do? What did Iowa do? What'd you do? I saw the fist pump. I saw it.
Kalen Clark just nailed a 3. So, I mean, we're up 31-26 and we needed it. Rob Thomas, favorite draft news buzz. Man, to be honest, Rob, it's all smoke screens to me. So I don't buy any of it. I don't really have any buzz. I'm always interested on who wants to go where and do I always want to know like who's going to go where. Quarterbacks, obviously. It'll be interesting to me. Now they're talking JJ McCarthy at 2. I mean, holy shit, he's come out from out of nowhere. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. The fall of Drake May, I feel like nobody's talking about him, and back in February he was guaranteed to go to number 2. So it'll be interesting to see.
I have to the Patriots. I had Drake May to the Patriots. I really believe it. I don't think it's quite fair that he's dropped as far. I don't think he is terrible or whatever. But, boy, these guys are coming out of nowhere, out of the woodwork. But looks like he might be a guest ref for the world title match. Nothing confirmed yet.
Yeah, okay. I saw that. Well, yeah, okay. Well, it'll be interesting, but I like it. Ayuk. So it was weird today. Lynch said that they're not trading Ayuk, and then Ayuk on his Instagram. I had a tweet. I had to ask my friend because I'm not good at the emojis and what the hell they all mean. I don't speak in hieroglyphics, but
let's get Carlos to give us a chart. You know what I mean?
In hieroglyphics, he pretty much put up on his Instagram. Bullshit talks, money walks, or money walks, or some shit like that. So, pretty much just saying like, "Hey, pay me." But he's been flirting with Mike Tomlin. He posted a picture and like, "Hey, Mike," they pretty much, "Hey, let's do this thing." Like, kind of get on the sidelines. And if I'm the Steelers, man, I'm by. Hey, that would be great. I love Brandon Ayuk. I think he's a stud I think he's the best wide receiver on the 49ers roster. I think he's above and beyond Deebo Samuel. I like Deebo, but I love Brandon Ayuk. I have for a long time. I think the kid's a stud. I would, I hope the 49ers don't pay him. They do trade him, but they need to pay that man. Pay that man his money.
Yeah, give the man his money. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. CeeDee Lamb for a ransom of draft picks?
No, I don't think so. No.
I don't see it. If only his name didn't sound like Ayuk.
No, I think a Street Fighter. Ayukin.
Man. Boy, that reference. You please me, sir. You please me. But
that's what she said.
I totally agree with the Ayuk talk. I'm kind of weird that they haven't done something yet, and now with all this going on, it just seems like, man, these wide receivers and their social media accounts, right? We got what's his name with the Buffalo Bills with waving Levi.
Diggs, yeah.
Diggs, yeah, and. It's just like one thing after the other.
The receivers always been like that. The pre-Madonna wide receivers, yep. And to their credit, they're, it's hard because to me, it makes some sense, right? As far as you're just like, man, their position is very skilled on who throws them the ball. They want to get, I'm all about everybody getting paid too, because this guy's career's short. They put their life on the line, so I'm all about everybody getting paid and getting that bread. So, but man, hey, there's my guy George Kittle. So,
tight end machine.
Yeah,
you got the tight end. Was Jimmy Johnson put in a prominent role, or is he just advisory? I don't think they really defined what he was doing.
Jimmy Johnson, I don't think he's doing nothing.
No, the Cowboys hired him like as an advisory role, unless he's been like in charge of something I don't know about. But advisory roles are usually, I don't know. I mean, maybe he can coach Jerry. Maybe, I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know.
Oh, advisor. So Alan says advisor role. I didn't know that. Yeah, they still have the Cowboys have done nothing. I mean, that might be the biggest surprise to me. That's the biggest surprise of the offseason is the Cowboys have. I mean, Alan, do they even got a running back on the fucking roster? Like they don't have nothing. That's the first time I didn't know that about Jimmy Johnson coming in as an advisor. Let's go ahead. We'll bring in. We've been talking a little bit of wrestling, just trying to figure out the CM Punk situation. Let's bring in Mr. CM Punk's #1 fan, and this guy. He's already giddy. He's already smiling. We missed him last week. Give it up for our guy, none other than Jim Biringer, baby.
Da bomb, da bomb, da bang, da bang, bang.
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Jim,
look at the background.
Where were you at with you needed the Biringer bomb? Where were you on the CM Punk news? So CM Punk is what's going to be his role here at WrestleMania?
He's going to be the guest commentator at the world title match where he's going to interfere like always.
He's not wrestling. He's not wrestling. He's not.
No wrestling.
Okay.
No referee. He's going to be on the mic. He's going to be behind the desk. He's going to do guest commentary for that match. Personally, he should do it for the whole pay-per-view. It would make the pay-per-view more enjoyable because he can make anybody sound enjoyable. But I will say I love the reference to The Rock from 11 years ago now in regards to he can't box with God. Because if you remember, that was a line in their promo leading up to the Royal Rumble in 2013. And The Rock has yet to mention CM Punk's name. But I will say this, the first couple hours of Raw, at least the promos anyway, have been really, really good. It's been entertaining. I love the smaller stage. I know they had to do it to accommodate Chicago because CM Punk was going to be there. But I kind of think they should stick with it. It looks aesthetically better.
Yeah. Thoughts on so far? Jim. We haven't talked to you a little bit. I want to go back to Monday Night Raw last week, or we can even do the Rock concert. I guess we missed the Rock concert in the.
The Rock concert is great. If everybody remembers Hollywood Rock back in.
Oh yeah,
2003, the Rock concert, the first Rock
Philly,
concert.
This ain't sing along with the Rock.
I mean, the Rock concert's a staple. The issue is everybody's all mad backstage because it's supposed to be PG, but they let the Rock do whatever he wants, and everybody else gets bleeped out. Just let him do what he wants. It's fine. He's the final boss. The Rock concert was great. The shots that he took at Cody were great. And then last week, Monday night.
How about the Memphis crowd too? I mean, we knew like that's where he's kind of from, started, so that they were going to cheer him like he's a face. Little different, but I love the whoop that trick, chance as well. I was all giddy for it. I still am. And then, what thoughts on Cody Rhodes's his counterpart on last Monday, I thought that was the best Cody Rhodes promo of his life, and I still couldn't get. I'm still not a fan.
I wouldn't say of his life. It was the same. If you go back, somebody put it up on the internet. It was the same promo he cut when first in AEW when Jericho was champion. It was a similar promo, but that's one of his better promos since he's come back to WWE. But because it was raw, it was real. There's now real hatred in this thing. Like it is legit. Like really good. The build up to this match, the videos, the fan videos people are making, it is unbelievable. A lot of people don't like Cody. That's fine. It's the easy thing to do. Guys want to jump on the bandwagon that carried over from AEW. That's fine. But look, I loved his response.
I've never been a fan of his. It has nothing. I've never been a fan. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like I just can't. I can't buy into it. Like his story. Like I don't know. I think it's the way he talks. To be honest, just that. Maybe it's the lisp, so count me out. I just never been a fan. I think he does okay ring work, but can't cut a promo. I've never been a fan. Just previous WWE, AEW, never could get behind him.
I think the thing is Cody gets it though, right? He's the face of the company. I can tell you, like at Nashville, they ended the show and he's out there signing autographs, a whole line or whatever.
Yeah,
and
well, that's the thing. Cody is the face of the company now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes is the face of the company. He's the American Nightmare. Everything. He's coming back to do what his daddy couldn't do, which was win the WWE Championship.
Oh, Robert, so mean. So mean, Robert.
I agree, Rob. Maybe that's.
I don't think he's a try. I don't think he's a try hard. Let's be honest. Like, a try hard is somebody that goes over and above. Cody grew up in the business, so he understands it all. Like, he grew up in it. He's been around it. His dad was Dusty. Like, everybody knows. And by the way, I understand the story that they're doing. I will be hypercritical though. He did win the more important world championship that his dad won, which was the 10 pounds of gold, the NWA World Championship. So, like, he did do that already. But I know his dad only once wrestled for the WWE Championship. And while, like, look, his Dusty's run in WWE the second time around, I mean, look, the first time around, it was Vince. Vince don't get it. Because, again, it's the stigma of guys from the outside making themselves. They got to do it a certain way. But Dusty's the ultimate pro, and he basically proved that all of them wrong. Now, we're going to see what happens at WrestleMania. Look, the Rock concert was great. Cody's promo was great. Everybody shows up on SmackDown again. Look, you have the face-to-face with Roman and Cody and everybody. Oh, look, Roman's going to have 3-on-1 beatdown. Look who shows up. Seth Rollins, Jey Uso's there. And just real quick before we get off the main event. Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso should open WrestleMania, period.
Yes.
Like night one. Like
100%.
Throw it back to Owen and Brett, WrestleMania 10.
Robert, they're so mean. Come on, Robert. He left an opportunity there. Now, granted, he was Stardust and stuck there, but the guy went out and forged his own path. I don't think that's fair to give him all the criticism. I don't mind you not liking Cody Rhodes. No. That's fine, but I'm not going to sit here and say like he's just poop. No, can't do it. Austin Theory, though. No, I'm just kidding.
No. we don't like – no, Austin Theory's just lost all momentum he ever had.
Man.
If he had any. He had any.
I just never liked him. I just couldn't do it.
Again, who is he chosen by?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. To get into some you got any more wrestling questions? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick. Uh-oh.
Nick froze? Nick, all right, we're taking over the show. Yo, take over, baby.
Take over. Mad hockey talk. Talk's going on.
I want to stay on wrestling for a minute because I like the CM Punk, Drew, and Seth Rollins segment so much. There was legit hatred between all these three guys. They improv'd a lot of stuff, and it was unbelievable to watch. Really entertaining. That's how you do it. Like, again, everybody wants to talk about I'm not comparing anything. We know WWE is the big leagues. We know this is what they do. This was a great segment. This is how you put real life into a promo. Guys don't like each other. Guys take shots at each other. And it's great. And another thing, I'm tired of this bleeping stuff out. Like, I cannot wait now for this show to be on Netflix.
Me too. Let it ride, man. Let it ride.
Just let it ride, man. Let's just bring back
Jim,
the attitude.
I heard you mention while I was cutting in and out there. Yeah. I heard you cutting in and out real quick. I was cutting in and out, but you mentioned Austin Theory. Has anybody had a bigger fall than Austin Theory? I mean, he opened up the card last year to John Cena and beat John Cena, and now, like, he is just him and Grayson Waller. I mean, maybe they make the 6-pack match, or maybe they don't. I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't know. I mean, he's taking a dive real bad.
Huge.
Like he didn't even get the Cena rub, man. Owens gets that Austin rub and the year before. You know, so many guys get so many rubs, but Austin Theory, no one can get behind him.
I never enjoyed the gimmick for whatever reason. I just couldn't do it.
I just don't like him. Again, who was he chosen by? Oh, by the way, I noticed when there was a commercial on, they showed how WrestleMania 9 ended. That's not how it ended. Like, they showed Yokozuna with the title. I'm like, that's not how it ended.
No.
The Hulkster had to come out like The Rock and get his hot dog in and his grandstanding in.
Right.
And that's what he did.
I don't know why. It's almost like they're trying to revise history. This is the same argument of E.T. replacing the FBI agent's shotguns with walkie-talkies. You know, it's like, come on, man, don't do that. But like when you look
Jim,
at
what was that? What'd you make of the Rock segment with Cody this evening? Something whispered something in his ear. We don't know, and then just dipped out.
Like YouTube, mysterious ways. Let's see where this leads, right? Like, no, The Rock just said you got to ask Cody, right? We don't know. We don't know what he said. Whatever he said, it pissed him off. So, you know, again, The Rock come out, does his thing like Hogan. You get a pop. By the way, Hollywood Rock theme needs to stay. It's the best theme ever. Do not at me because you will be denied access because you're wrong. And Hollywood Rock theme, best theme ever. For the
I love it. I love it.
It's great. It's wonderful. It's great to have The Rock back. Anybody that says differently doesn't know what they're talking about. He's terrific. I'm happy he's back.
But he didn't make pro wrestling fun again.
It's make it cool again. It's make it cool again, Jim. He did make it cool. Maybe not fun, but it's way cooler when the great one is around, baby.
Oh, God. You put a quarter in the jukebox.
First of all, he did not make it cool again, okay? Wrestling was already cool, and Cody was on the side of being cool. LA Knight made it cool.
Yeah.
AW made it cool. The Indies made it cool.
Yep.
Not The Rock, not Dwayne, right? Dwayne out in Hollywood. No, Dwayne didn't make wrestling cool again, okay? People were watching wrestling, but Dwayne, who wants to take WrestleMania main event away from people, did not make wrestling cool again.
I agree.
He made it a lot cooler than me, Jim. Okay, that's where you're wrong.
Yeah, all right, Mark. All right, Mark.
He's a follower. He's a sheep.
I acknowledge Roman Reigns as my tribal chief. If somebody I want Roman, I'm all in, baby. We acknowledge you, Roman. We acknowledge you as my tribal chief.
It's not like that.
No, this is not. You got two Cody crybabies, Rob. That's the problem. Against one, The Rock. I acknowledge the bloodline.
Who said I was a Cody crybaby? I'm speaking truth.
That's right, Alan.
To stupid, and I am the voice of the voiceless. I've always been a CM Punk guy, and I always said CM Punk should have never lost the title to The Rock in 2013.
I agree. I do agree. I do agree with that, Jim, and I've told you that before. Even though I'm a Rock guy, I always will be. Anytime The Rock is fighting or wrestling or doing anything, I'm there. A real quick question to you guys. Have you been catching this stuff on? I know you guys do your show on Sunday, but have you guys caught up on the A&E stuff on Sunday with Wrestling I
Sunday?
do watch the Rivals are really good. I watch a lot of those. The biography, depending on who it is, I'll try to catch.
You got to check out the Bulldog, man. That was really good.
Okay.
Goodness.
Yeah, I've been watching the Rivals.
Rivals was good this week too. It was the history of Edge, Christian, Dudley's, Hardys. That was great.
I absolutely love the Dudley boys. They were so fun to watch. I think they were my absolute favorite. Oh, don't be that way. You could just mute us. Keep it streaming.
I mean, look, the Bulldog one was really good. America's Most Wanted. Hey, that's a TNA tag team. That's a really good tag team, by the way.
Sure is.
They were really good. They feuded with Team Canada, and then don't forget you had Beer Money down in TNA as well. So I mean, great. I mean, the Bulldog documentary, the biography was good. I think they skipped some stuff. Again, they cram all this stuff. Like some they decide to make 2 hours, some decide to make an hour.
Yes,
but I thought it was really good. They really touched on the SummerSlam '92 with Brett, but they didn't mention in there that he was stoned, and that's why Brett kicked him in the face like 3 times because he forgot the match. Yeah, no, legit happened. Like,
I didn't know
hilarious.
that. No, I did not know that. Wow.
Like, go watch the match. There's a segment where they're on the ropes and Brett legit kicks him in the face like a couple times.
I've got to watch it. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. To bounce a little bit into some hockey news here, we have Chris Simon who commits suicide at 52. And now is this going to be like hockey's Junior Seau? Like, is this going to be the CTE talk for hockey? Because so far that's what it's turning into, it looks like.
I mean, look, you had Chris Simon, and, it's horrible to see what happens to these guys like Chris Simon, Derek Bugart, go down a list of guys who've taken their own life, the fighters that have taken their own life, and it's a shame. And you think that would have been the talk, the catalyst years ago when all these guys started to pass away. And I think the Simon thing, I think it hurt a lot of guys because Chris Simon was such a great player too, right? He was with the Washington Capitals, went to Stanley Cup final, been on several teams. He's such a good player, won a Stanley Cup. And here you go, guy 52 kills himself and nobody really knew. And, look, the league doesn't want to keep saying fighting and CT and all this stuff. And, look, I don't know I don't want to talk negatively about Gary Bettman or Bill Daly, but I'm not sure if they really understand what's going on here and what the issue is, because there's too much of this, right? Look, we have the Matt Rempe stuff. That's why he's been asked to tone it down a little bit. But to see another guy like that, another enforcer take his own life, and then we had another kid prior to that down in Florida do the same thing who played for the Penguins. You just got to wonder what's going on with these hits in hockey and everything. And look, I don't want hockey to lose its edge and, the hitting and stuff like that, because God knows football is just killing its own sport, though people still watch it, because we can't tackle at the hips anymore. We can't tackle here and there, but people still watch it because it's just going to turn into video game.
Oh, yeah, the old hip tackle, hip trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hip trap was taken out, and all the defenders are wondering what are we supposed to do now? What are they supposed to do now? I mean, we didn't really talk about that, Sam. At the top of the show, and Jim will ask you, are defenders, you just got to tackle them head on, and it's only can be right here and here. That's the only way you can tackle them.
I mean, can you still tackle at the ankles, grab the guy at the legs, and just take him down? I mean, because that's how you're supposed to tackle in football. I mean.
Yeah, I don't understand how
might as well just take the defense off the field and let the offense just go down the field and score a million points. I don't think anybody wants to watch that.
No, I don't. Yeah, no. They're slowly killing it.
What's crazy is about what's crazy about that, you ask any running back or receiver, they rather have it at the head than the knees. You're right, because you get taken.
Right.
They don't want the knees taken out or the ankles taken out, so they rather I'd rather get busted upside the head. I'll live with the CTE later. I don't know. Pat McAfee was talking on his show this morning, maybe just have some guys have signed waivers, and just be like, hey, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get injuries, you're gonna get. Promise us not to sue the NFL, but you're going to make millions of dollars. But just know these are all the things that you could possibly get playing this game.
Yeah, because I mean, look, what else are they supposed to do? You can't tackle. You touch the quarterback in the head with a finger, it's a 15-yard flag. You can't come across that with your helmet. I get that. I mean, I guess we're going to have to teach tackling now again with the shoulder, go shoulder to chest. I mean. Grab the ankles, grab the legs. I mean, football is becoming flag football, and it's not good for the sport.
No, it's not good at all. And knowing how well other things are officiated, I can't wait to see how the flags shoot out for this one. Can you imagine a running back coming out from the line and somebody grabs him from the side and they're there it comes,
But it's so hard to tell, like, when they get into, like, the pile, oh, you grabbed them by the hip. Like, I could see in the open field, you grab them by the hip, but still, it's dumb, too.
Yeah, I don't understand. Kickoff rule idea change.
Yeah.
Thoughts? I forgot about that one.
I didn't hear that one. What's the new one? What's
No,
the
it
new
didn't.
idea?
It didn't change yet. It hasn't. That one hasn't changed yet, Sam. Hasn't been voted. I don't know if it's been voted on or just hasn't been voted for yet. They were talking about that, but they did say 2 new rule changes. A lot more. Hey, if there's like a penalty that the refs like, hey, pick up the flag type thing, like it didn't happen. Like they are gonna do that. Yeah, kickoff rule idea change. The thoughts. So they haven't changed it yet. But I do like it. It's going to actually leave the kickoff game more, Rob. It sounds like from what I've gathered. Speaking in the hockey world, Jim, the bobbleheads of Jaromir Jagr have been found, so that's a plus, right? I don't know where you stored those at, but they were found. Yeah. I'm sorry about all the ones that you
They
took.
found your stash in Vermont, Jim.
Maybe they were there. Maybe they were not. Maybe they were in a warehouse someplace.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny the money that's sitting in my bank account because of that.
Are they in the warehouse like the Ark of the Covenant and Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Jim,
we don't know.
I love it. Do you Tom Wilson?
Jim, we're entering like with the final stretch run here. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Tom Wilson got a 6-game suspension for high sticking Noah Gregor. Is that like a total fair punishment? Do you think that's fair for high sticking?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, look, it's part of reputation, but also the league, if you look at it, I think a lot of people complained when Jacob Trouba didn't get suspended for his high stick in the face to Trent Frederick, and he basically tomahawk chopped him in the face, and they didn't get a suspension. So basically the league's like, yeah, we're going to, just because your reputation and the fact that we didn't punish harder the first time, you're going to get a 6-game suspension. It's the right call. Miss Tom Wilson. You don't need this stuff, but it's interesting to see like the Washington Capitals, the way they're playing. They're playing good. They've won several games now. They're in the wild card 2 in the Eastern Conference, considering no one plagued them as a playoff team this year. Ovechkin's getting hot again. They have the worst goal differential in the NHL in the Eastern Conference. And somehow they are in the playoffs. Of the playoff teams, they have the worst goal differential. And that says something. But it's the Charlie Lindgren show right now. Ovechkin's playing well. They're getting the wins when they need them. And they have games in hand, and they could pass Philadelphia for 3rd in the Metro, which would be something because I don't think anybody saw this coming. It's remarkable for a team that's retooling on the fly like they are. And if, Ovi gets 6 more goals and you can get, if it's under 40, maybe it's under 40 heading into next season, maybe he passes Wayne Gretzky for most goals all time. I mean, is that something that could happen next year? Possibly. Maybe it happens the year after. But if his goal scoring continues to creep the way it's going towards the end of the year, 6 to 10 goals, I mean, think about it, man. You go into next year, you're under 40. Nothing's impossible.
Right. You can fly. Everything's
Jim,
possible.
I want to move to the Western Conference real quick. Is St. Louis going to make the playoffs here? Are they going to get this wild card spot and knock out the Knights or even Nashville?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, I don't think they can catch Nashville. Let's be honest. I think Nashville secured their playoff spot in the Western Conference. I mean, 15-0-2 after canceling the U2 trip to the Sphere when they're in Vegas, I think says something. They play – I know. Look, everybody wants to talk about, playing game, add more games, this, that, and the other thing, mini tournaments. Look, the regular season is a mini tournament for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tonight in St. Louis, there's a play-in game as we record on Monday night. St. Louis, Vegas. Vegas is up 1-0 as it is right now. The winner, if it's a kind of a 4-point swing in the standings, even though there's only 2 points on the line. If Vegas wins, they're up 6 points. If they lose, St. Louis closes within 2. Nashville has 3rd in its sights right now because of the way the Winnipeg Jets are struggling. But the way the Preds are playing, guys in the room, Barry Trotz getting the right guys, not selling off too many pieces, adding the right pieces. They're buying into Andrew Burnett's system, understanding what you need. got leaders in there like Ryan O'Reilly, Philip Forsberg's doing his thing, Yossi, Saros continues to shine. And the Nashville Predators got that feel like the Florida Panthers did last year. You don't want to play them come the playoffs. They got that 2017 feel when they went to the Stanley Cup final. But as far as Vegas, St. Louis, I mean, I think Vegas, if they can start getting their acts together and they get this win against St. Louis, it's not over because of the gap, but it makes it a lot more difficult for St. Louis to pass them in the standings if they win here on Monday night.
Makes sense.
So tonight's a big game for the Blues to try to come out and win, is what I hear you saying, Jim.
Right, and everybody talks
is there anything
about,
else?
Yeah, so a lot of people say, oh, there's not a lot of playoff races. Again, it's mostly the Toronto media because they just focus on the Leafs. Or you don't listen or you watch or you don't look. LA, Vancouver's big. They're also playing on Monday night. That's a big game. The Kings can get close to the Oilers, maybe get some home ice advantage heading into the playoffs. But you look at it, that Central Division out in the Western Conference, Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, right? You don't want to finish second or third. You don't want to finish third because then you got to go on the road against one of those teams. Not ideal. You want to win that division. Colorado continues to play well. The Halifax boys did it again the other night, that 4-0 McKinnon and Drouin. And you got to give a shout-out to Cole Harbour with Sidney Crosby as a 4-point effort. And Ovechkin had 2 goals in the same day. Those guys continue to play, and they're not slowing down. And, all that for Crosby's work for nothing. But he had another tremendous game, what he's doing this year. And then out in the Eastern Conference, obviously you got Detroit, Washington trying to battle it out for the final playoff spot. Tampa's right there. That's a team you don't want to play in the East. Then in the Metro Division, the divisional races is where it's at right now, right? Florida, Boston finished, trying to win the Atlantic. Carolina and the Rangers battling for the Metro. A lot of good playoff races right now. A lot of good divisional races. And again, we don't need to expand the playoffs. You don't need these playing games. You don't need in-season tournaments because you have it right now in this compelling hockey.
Yeah. Jim, last question before we get you out of here. Who's winning this? Is it called the President's Trophy, right? Is it going to be Florida, Boston? I know the Rangers are kind of right there. Who's winning? Who are you pegging down to win this thing? And usually that means they're not going to win the Stanley Cup.
No, I mean, it hasn't happened since Chicago when they won the President's Trophy, then won the Stanley Cup. It doesn't happen often. I think the Rangers did it once in '94. But look, it's tough. Look, Florida, Boston, the Rangers are in there. Vancouver's in there. Colorado's still kicking around. I mean, I don't think Boston or Florida would mind not winning it. I think New York will figure out a way maybe to win the President's Trophy. Look, they have a good team. They can go deep, but again, it depends on the matchups in the playoffs and the goalies that get hot, right? You need to have 4 lines playing the right way. You need your goaltender to stay on your head. And, look, the President's Trophy curse is a real thing. You don't want to win it. And if you do, well, most of the time you don't get to the Stanley Cup final and you don't win. Sometimes you get there and you lose, but again, most of the time you don't. And it's, again, about playing the right way in the playoffs, right? And building towards that and playing right at the end of the regular season. So it's going to be an interesting stretch. The playoffs are about 4 weeks away now. So it's going to be fun to watch. A lot of meaningful hockey games. Super Tuesday tomorrow. A lot of great games. Nashville, let's see what they're doing. Love the way they're playing. They're coming into Jersey a couple weeks. So that's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see them up close and personal. See what Bruno's got going with this team. Trotz will be in town. So it should be a fun matchup in Jersey. I think April 7th they play on a Sunday night. So that'll be fun.
Rock on.
How's your basketball bracket? You fill out a bracket, Jim?
I did not. I was so busy with hockey stuff this year that I did not fill out a bracket this year.
Oh, man. All right. Well, hey, Jim, we appreciate you joining us. I guess next Monday is –
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, to be honest, I kind of lost interest in college basketball because it's just too much, The hockey season, the way the hockey season drags on, and the games are just like, all right, whatever, and then it's the tournament. But again, everybody wants to change things. The college realignment, it just doesn't feel like the old college basketball anymore.
Hey, where are you calling us from today, Jim?
I'm in my room. It's the other side of it.
Okay. Okay, I was to say I don't see that's like a whole different backdrop than what we normally see.
Yeah,
so I didn't know,
my bookshelf. No, I like change it up a little bit. Bookshelf. I love my Bret Hart photo of him choking the life out of Shawn Michaels. It's great.
I was saying, I could see.
Jim's actually read all the books on that bookshelf. Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, I did read most of them.
Woo!
Yes, I have.
That's why you're smarter than us, Jim. Sam reads at a second grade level, and I read at about a fifth grade level. So,
wait,
that's why you're smarter than us. Can't
see spot run. Oh my goodness.
No, but look, I mean, you look at it. So I gotta say,
hey Jim, we appreciate you joining us.
Wait. One thing before I get out of here, because I don't think I was on here after my little rant. I might have been, but I don't know. The smoke around JJ McCarthy, you cannot believe. Okay, guy is not a top 10 drafted quarterback in the NFL draft this year. They're
saying number 2, Jim. They're saying number 2.
I guess they didn't watch tape. So I guess they didn't watch tape, because I watched his tape in Michigan, and the easy throws, he didn't make them, and he had a good running game. And you're gonna tell me he can do this at the NFL level? Not so sure.
It's good. Drake May.
Next Monday is the last Monday before Raw. Is that
before
it? We got one more Monday before
WrestleMania, and The Rock is supposed to be on Raw next week. So we'll see what happens.
It'll be great. I cannot wait.
It is.
Ooh. We are still on the road to WrestleMania. Next week, Jim, it'll be all WrestleMania questions. We'll have to get your full predictions once hopefully we get the whole card here. So can't wait. Give it up for covers full press wrestling, full press hockey. He is Mr. Servant. He'll talk hockey, wrestling, tennis, college football, all the stuff. Give it up for our guy, Jim Biringer. Jim, we love you. We'll see you next week, brother.
Boys, we'll see you around. Take care, everybody. Peace out. Enjoy the night. And,
with everybody saying
L-A-J.
Stop.
Stop. Yeah. Yo, throw it up. All right, boys.
Hey, we'll see you later, Jim.
See you, Jim.
Good night and goodbye. Bang.
Bang. He just shot us. He shot us.
That was Kenny Omega. I was in real trouble here. Caitlin Clark's leg's bleeding. It's 48. They're up 48-3 with 6 minutes to go. They were up 10 going into the fourth quarter here.
Goodness
and now
gracious.
So I might have another meltdown like I had the Kentucky game. Even worse because
the shake over here just I might as well go ahead and punish myself.
Hopefully Jonathan joins us. I think they were back this week. No, I think they're back from spring break at his college. My college is just now on spring break, so quiet times. But so update on the brackets while we're waiting on Jonathan here to join us. Let me pull up the
I can't wait to hear this.
ESPN brackets here. So groups, create. Oh, I don't want to create group. I need to close. All right, I'm in 32nd place in the Let's Talk Sports whole bracket. In first place, I don't know who he is. Dezingens picks 4. So I'm gonna have to try. I realize now. I don't know how I'm gonna have to put it in this the results or something. I'm gonna have to figure out how do I get these people, because I won't let me just message them on the side. So I don't know how many people's stuff, but hopefully they'll find me on Twitter and I'll get them paid. But right now, Dezingens and Luke Rorton are at the top of the leaderboard. But between the 5 of us, Scott, is leads the way at 460 points. I believe followed by Tanner at 450 points. Hey, I think Scott Cobb's got 2 brackets in here. Because he's got S.J. Cobb. It says S.J. Cobb's 2005's pick 1. Is he? But I put it to you. Did he got 2? Does he got 2 accounts?
If he has 2 accounts, oh my gosh, he's kicked out. He's kicked out. He automatically loses. You're free.
Yeah,
you're free.
Automatically disqualified.
Yeah, you're free.
Yeah,
no, he's going to wear his Yankees gear. He's going to wear it.
He should. Yeah.
Pinstripes.
We'll have to ask him in the group chat tomorrow. You got 440 points. So I'm trying to find Johnny cruising. Oh, Johnny is in third at 440 points. You and Johnny are tied, and I am bringing it up the rear, dead last at 410 points. It is not looking good.
Just fight.
Scott did the math, I guess, somehow. He said, just looking at the brackets, if UConn gets to the Final Four, I'll avoid the sardine milkshake. So maybe I need UConn. I'm all in on UConn. So.
Yeah, they got to get you there.
We saved it is time for our baseball talk. We saved this division last just because I don't want to hear it ad nauseum. I'm already, we already have to hear about it, how good the fucking Atlanta Braves are every Monday night. Even when we're covering these divisions, every division, it's like when Johnny plugs his own show, you could put a ticker on how many times this guy mentions the Atlanta Braves. He'll be, former Atlanta Brave. This guy played for the Atlanta Braves, or, not to bring in my Atlanta Braves, but they're a lot like the Atlanta They, their farm systems, this, and this. Everything is associated to the Atlanta Braves. All 28 MLB teams, or how many? I think there's 28 or 30, 28, are somehow associated with the Atlanta Braves. Like you'll find them some way and somehow. And tonight we got to hear about how the Atlanta Braves are probably going to run through this division, how they're going to be so good. Just like his college team, he's coaching them up. They're still kicking ass, taking names, but give it up for our baseball coach, Jonathan Grishman.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest Braves fan there ever was, ever will be. Jonathan Grishman.
I'll put myself up there. I would have to be able to hype myself up to do that. I got the ring on too. So. Man, you're all
we need to see it. We don't need. We already know.
I appreciate the introduction. It choked you up so much, like you're so emotional about it right now. I really, really appreciate that welcoming right now.
You're welcome.
Again, the emotions that spewing out of you, man. That's.
Goodness gracious!
I am choked up about it. Jonathan, go ahead. We'll start with your Atlanta Braves. And I know I'm sounding like my grandma, and I haven't smoked cigarettes, and I only tried them like one time. My grandma been smoking for 50 years.
I just took a few drags,
There we go. Had to clear it out.
Goodness gracious.
Jonathan, we'll start with your Atlanta Braves. Go ahead and tell us why they're winning this division and how good they are, even though you do it every Monday.
Well, I mean, again, this is a team that has won division 6 straight times, and they're going for 7. This is kind of like we're almost back in the 90s where they won 14 straight division titles, and doing it in different ways, just like that 90s team.
That time?
We won one. We won a World Series, we've done right now. So we have one. We have a title in that era. We went and we've gone to I think 3 other World Series during that, or 3 or 4 other World Series that during that span. But I
know, Jonathan. Let's give you a hard time. I don't need the history. Oh, here we go.
No, but here's the thing about this year's team, and I'm going to speak a little differently tonight I am going to hype them up as far as what they have done really well, what and why they are going to win this division and why they are the best team in baseball. But there is a caveat to what I'm going to say tonight. This team is very deep pitching-wise. We do have Max Fried still under contract for one more year. We do have Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider has a new pitch this year. And I put this in the message with Alan and Scott earlier today or last night. He's a curveball now. And it used to be fastball slider. He has a changeup. It's not been, it's a decent pitch. This curveball that Spencer Strider has developed, it could make him the best pitcher in baseball. It is a filthy pitch that it gives a different view because what teams have locked in on with him, and i.e. the Phillies, we'll just use the Phillies as an example because they've shelled him twice in back-to-back years in the postseason. You lock in on a pitch that moves sideways. All right, fastball. It's a flat fastball, hard fastball, but with a little bit of a rise to it. Everybody in baseball can hit a fastball. The slider is a sideways pitch. It does not drop up and down. So again, it rides into lefty bats. This curveball is a up and down pitch, and it gives a different view to what he does. So having this curveball can really help Spencer Strider elevate his game to another level. You do have Chris Sale added as a fourth pitcher. Charlie Morton is back for potentially his last year. You add Chris Sale, and what I'm encouraged about with Sale right now is his strikeouts are up, and his walks are down so far in spring training. He looks healthy, and asking Chris Sale to be a number one pitcher. You're asking him to be a number 4, number 5 pitcher, and you're letting Ronaldo Lopez and A.J. Smith-Shawver, when he gets called back up at some point this year, or Hurston Waldrop or someone else, Bryce Elder, be the 5th guy to kind of just expand this rotation. Offensively, again, bullpen-wise, I won't even go much to the bullpen. This is probably one of the best bullpens in baseball, if not the best bullpen in baseball. They went and got power arms in this bullpen, which is what they were missing last year. You added in more lefties to attack the Phillies' offense, which is what's killed you, is their left-handed bats. You throw in Aaron Bummer. You bring Tyler Matzekis back from AJ Minter is healthy. So you have a lot more lefties in this bullpen that you can mix and match with. And then you throw in the offense as well. Again, still a young team. Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna, MVP, Orlando Arcia, Sean Murphy, Austin Riley, Matt Olson. This offense is loaded, absolutely loaded still, and they're continuing to get better every year. I expect Ronald Acuna to be an MVP candidate again in 2024 and potentially the favorite to win the MVP again in 2024. But this team, the only concern I have in the offensive side is left field. Is with a platoon of Adam Duvall and Jared Kelenic. We don't really know how they're going to be. Now, real quick, if I can divulge you guys here in this situation, yes, they are the best team in baseball. They will be the best team in baseball. They will win this division. I am challenging my Atlanta Braves this year, and I did this with Scott and Allen as well. Winning your division is not good enough anymore. It's the same thing with you threw the 90s Braves at me. Winning the division was not good enough. You have to win World Series. The pressure is on with this team, especially as you have guys who are Max Fried is under contract for one more year, just like Freddie Freeman was, and just like Dansby Swanson was the year after that. Max Fried's under contract for one more year, and he's a free agent, more likely leaving. This is a lot of a change of guard here. I am putting pressure on this team. I don't want just a division title. This has to be a World Series or bust year. And I think the pressure of this team is realizing that because you got knocked out by your division rival twice, not once, twice. And you got embarrassed both times. It's not like you just lost in 5 games and it was a close series back and forth. They outplayed you twice in 2 years. That's not good enough. So if I have to tell you guys as well, who in Major League Baseball has the most pressure, it is the 2024 Atlanta Braves. They're going to be the best team. But being the best team in baseball is not good enough. Winning your division is not good enough. You have to perform like you did in 2021. You have to perform, and you have to win a World Series this year. It's not good enough anymore just to win a division title and lose in the division series. Perform, or we're going to have to make some changes. And I shudder to think what those changes could be. But there's a lot of pressure on this team.
New manager? We're talking new manager?
I'm not talking manager because Brian Snitker is a Braves lifer. They expect him to retire as an Atlanta Brave. But there could be some moves that you're going to have to look into to say, a shakeup here and there. And I don't know where that's going to be because, again, a lot of the roster is so young. But you're going to have – but what's changed over the last couple of years is the leadership. Freddie Freeman was the leader of this team in 2021. Dansby Swanson was the leader in 2022. 2023 did not have that leadership. There was a void, even though they played outstanding. Who was the voice that was going to be the one that just says, "Hey, yes, we have a team that's outperforming us, but we need to answer the bell now"? I don't think there was anybody. Austin Riley hasn't taken that step yet. I haven't seen Austin Riley.
Well, shouldn't that be Acuna since he's the best player? Shouldn't that be Ronald Acuna since he's the best player?
It's not always the best player that's the leader. It's not always. It's the personality of who. It's a personality thing.
I'm just asking, shouldn't it be though? Shouldn't it be him?
No,
well, yeah, I understand that, but shouldn't Acuna be the guy that steps in?
No, I don't think it's Acuna who should be the leader of this team. He is the best player. I think it has to be Austin Riley. I think it has to be Austin Riley to be the voice because of who has been grooming Austin Riley for the last 4 or 5 years. And that's Chipper Jones. Riley has to be the one that steps up and be the leader of this team. And more so than Acuna. What I would be upset if Acuna takes that role? Absolutely not. But somebody has to. Ozzie Albies is too inconsistent in his play to be the leader. Riley has been a Gold Glove type of third baseman and a Silver Slugger type of third baseman offensively. He's been, he's developed so well over the years that he has to be the one that takes that step in his game. Matt Olson is still, this is year 3 for Matt Olson. Sean Murphy, this is year 2. Go down the list. Michael Harris is still too young. So again, it's either Acuna or Riley. I think those are the two guys that have to be the leaders, and I think it leans towards Riley because Chipper Jones has been grooming him to be the player that he has been so far.
Goodness,
I like it. Obviously, you got the Braves finishing first. Sam, where you got the Braves finishing first?
They're gonna have to be first. I don't see a lot of weaknesses in this team. The biggest question mark, according to the internet, is rotation health. But they say at the end that they're not really. That's just they had to put something there in the article. Is pretty much what they're saying. So I totally expect the Braves to take the division title. Another one to add to the belt. Iowa's doing something. Look at him. He's upset.
Stokey just missed a wide open layup. I mean, we're up 3 right now. I got the Braves finishing first too. Go ahead, Jonathan.
To answer that, as far as the concern of the rotation health, that is a concern because you do have a 40-year-old Charlie Morton, and you do have a Chris Sale who has had injury history over the last few years. What makes me feel a little bit at ease is the fact that they can give Morton and Sale a start off here and there because you do have Smith Shawver you can call up. You do have Bryce Elder, who was an all-star last year. You can call up. You have arms in your minor leagues that are just itching to get big league opportunities. And if you need to say, "Hey, Chris, we're going to push a Sale, we're going to push a start back for you to give you just an extra week of rest," we can do that. Charlie, we can. If you need an extra week of rest, we can do that. So the depth up to assure the health of Charlie, the health of Chris Sale is at its peak. And same thing with Max. Max is 30 years old. Or Max is 30 years old. And he's had some injury history at times. So if you need to push some guys back and kind of take a start off, you have depth in the minors that can do that. And you have guys that have opportunity that in your bullpen that you can give a chance to. Huascar Yanoa, who's healthy and he's back, he can be a guy that can give you a spot start. I'm looking at the names real quick. Alan Winans as well. Dylan Dodd. Guys that have opportunities to start can give you a chance to at least go get 4 or 5 innings in and turn the ball to the bullpen and go from there. So the health is a question mark, but the Braves are just so deep in pitching that they can fix that and maneuver and manipulate guys' starts to be able to prevent any such injuries or tiring down the road.
Let's get to the team that has knocked you out of the playoffs the last 2 years, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies. Thoughts on the Phillies?
They're becoming They're becoming one of my most hate. I hate the New York Mets. I hate the Phillies, but the Phillies right now, they've been a thorn in our side, and just because they're so similar to the Atlanta Braves and how they're constructed offensively. You talk about a pestering offense with Rio Muto, who continues to be one of the best hitting catchers, and also again he's one of the best hitting catchers, but he's still one of the best defensive catchers in the game as well. He's a well-rounded catcher behind the plate, but he's a pest as can be. Bryce Harper is now a full-time first baseman, and that's going to be interesting to see. We get a chance to really how his development as a first baseman is going to be. Rhys Hoskins is no longer in Philadelphia, so the job is completely Bryce Harper's. We have Bryce Stott at second base with Whit Merrifield as a backup, kind of moving over around. Alec Boehm at third, Trey Turner, like they're constructed very well, and I know they try to make some moves to get a little bit deeper in the outfield. I think that's where they're weakest right now. Nick Castellanos is still a good hitter, even though he had a very bad NLCS. Nick Castellanos is a professional hitter. He's going to continue to have a good season, I believe, in 2024. The wild card is going to be is Johan Rojas in center field. How does he handle being the everyday center fielder now? Brandon Marsh is going to be more of a left fielder with Whit Merrifield rotating in left as well. You have Christian Pache kind of rotating in right field more likely. So the outfield is not as strong as I would say that the Braves have with Acuna and Michael Harris. There's some question marks right there. Pitching-wise, you do have the top guys, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola. Ranger Suarez, they're hoping for a bounce-back year this year from him. I know he pitched pretty well in the postseason. But there's a little bit of question marks in the depth of the rotation, and that's why I think they're still kind of linked to Jordan Montgomery right now. The Yankees and Phillies have been kind of the two teams that have been inquiring on Montgomery right now because the depth of the Phillies, it's questionable. With you have Christopher Sanchez, Spencer Turnbull, and Taijuan Walker competing for that fourth and fifth spots in the rotation. That's not really good. So I feel a little bit. I would feel a little nervous about a Phillies fan with your rotation, but you still have a really strong bullpen. A lot of power arms that are going to be giving you opportunities to win games, despite what your depth of rotation is. They're really good in the bullpen back end. So this team, they're going to be competing with the Braves. They're not going to let the Braves just get this division easy. They're the thorn in the Braves side over the last 2 years, and I don't see that being any different this year.
Makes sense to me.
You got them second place, or you got them at?
They are the second place team in the NL East. Yes.
Sam,
I also have them at second place.
where you got
once again? Second place. I'm going Silver as well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they could be another wild card team. And if Chris Sale and a couple injuries to the Braves, and let's just say they get Montgomery to be that third guy for the Phillies, I think they could maybe win that division. I do like their lineup, but the Braves would have to falter. I'm not picking the Phillies right now, Jonathan. I'm just saying if some injuries and things like that happen to your Braves, I could see the Phillies maybe sliding in there. But I got the Phillies at second place. Let's go to the next three teams. I don't know where to put them at, but we'll go down to Miami. Thoughts on the Marlins, Jonathan?
This is a sneaky team that, again, they were a postseason team in 2023. They're a young and exciting. So if you have teams, and again, the National League is filled with young and exciting teams. Yeah, we talked about the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates, before. The Miami and Arizona Diamondbacks too. The Miami Marlins are just as young and exciting in what they provide. The only thing that makes me nervous about this, I know he did not have a great season in 2023, but you don't have Sandy Alcantara at all in 2024 from Tommy John surgery he had at the end of the season last year. That is a concern. So you're now turning the rotation over to young pitchers. You have Yuri Perez, who turns 21 years old here in a couple of weeks. Edward Cabrera, who's in his mid-20s, Braxton Garrett in his 20s. This is a young starting rotation, young pitching staff that they're going to have to grow up in order to continue to turn their franchise to a competitive franchise, which is what they've been building to be. And they're, being a postseason team in the wild card last year, this rotation has to grow up. AJ Puck is one that's going to take a bigger role. Jesus Luzardo is going to take a bigger role this year. And I know Sixto Sanchez is another one that he's not on the as far as on the rotation depth chart right now. But we know he's going to be a relied upon as well. I think he's injured at the moment right now, if I'm correct on that. No, he's not actually. He's in the he got him on the bullpen, but he'll get some chances to start as well throughout the season. So again, there's a lot of young pitching on this team and exciting pitching, which Yuri Perez and Sixto Sanchez are guys that have been hyped up really, really well with this franchise. A lot, that have very similar to how Sandy Alcantara and the late Jose Fernandez have been hyped up through their times in this franchise. So the pitching, I think, is going to be really good. Now, the offense is what's going to be concerning more so with this team. And I said the pitching is good, but they're young. But if they develop and they continue to provide the growth that they need, this pitching staff can be really good. Offensively is a concern. Again, you have Christian Bethancourt starting at catcher, who's a middle-of-the-pack catcher. Josh Bell at first base with Jake Berger. Luis Arias. Can Luis Arias continue to have this hitting, trek that he's been on the last 2 years, being one of the better hitters, one of the best hitters in baseball? That's something that's going to be a question because he kind of tailored off in the second half of the season. Maybe if teams figured him out or what. That's going to be a question to see. And you go in, Jake Berger. Tim Anderson what are you going to get with Tim Anderson at shortstop? He's going to be at the moment right now. It looks like he's going to be the starting shortstop for the Marlins. What are you getting out of him? Are we going to see the Chicago White Sox version of Tim Anderson where he was really good, or the Chicago White Sox version of Tim Anderson that was really bad? That's the wild card on there. Ryan De La Cruz, Jazz Chisholm, Jesus Sanchez, Avisail Garcia. The outfield is actually pretty good, but they're just inconsistent. So the Marlins are going to be a good team. How high do they compete? It will be the question based off of the offense. Can they provide enough offense for this young pitching staff to get comfortable and be able to win you some games? That I don't know how much they're going to be. Will they be a playoff team again in 2024? I think they will. I think they will be a playoff team again in 2024, or they'll be at least competitive to be a playoff team. But the NL is so deep with a lot of good teams that are competing for wild card spots. This is going to be a tough race for the Marlins. If they can be consistent in the pitching staff with this young team and they can score enough runs, I can see them being a playoff team in 2024.
Marlins is a playoff team. Where you like the Marlins at then in the division?
They're a third place team. They're the third best team, and I don't see the other two teams close to them. Where do the Marlins rank as far as with wins behind the Phillies and Braves? They'll be double digit wins behind them, but they'll be competitive to at least push and make both teams nervous in August, and then as what the Marlins end up doing is they tailor off the division in September and be more of a wild card team at that point.
Sam.
I thought I was being sneaky here by putting them at third, but apparently not. I also have them at third. I like the pitching, and everything. And I'm with Jonathan. I don't think the other two don't have it. They just can't get it done. That's what I don't think.
Yeah, I'm right there. I don't know about playoffs because I'm hoping my Cubs are the ones that decide to get in. But I mean, they're going to win the division, so we don't have to worry about wild cards. So the Marlins, let them try to be wild card. But I'm good with that on the Marlins at third. Let's talk about your favorite baseball team ever, none other than the New York Mets.
As a New York hater, it's a good time to be a New York hater because both New York teams are low right now, and if you had to pick as far as which one in New York is the lowest, it is the New York Mets. There's so much turmoil going on with this franchise and with this team and what they're planning and how even really how you can say what they're planning. pitching wise, looking at their pitching staff, Kodai Senga, who's going to be, I think he's injured right now. He'll be out for a while. Jose Quintana is probably going to be your number one to start out the season and your opening day starter, which that's been a disaster over the last couple of years for Quintana. Luis Severino is your number two, which how's he going to be with, how healthy can he stay and how good will he be? Sean Manea, Adrian Hauser, Tyler McGill, David Peterson, he's on the IL for 60-day IL as well. This rotation is a mess. And this is something that, again, this is just a year removed from having Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander as your in your rotation. You have this, you're rolling out in opening day for the New York Mets. That does not bring excitement in Queens. So I don't really know what the plan has been for the Mets and what they're trying to do. The bullpen is no better. You do have Edwin Diaz returning. You have Adam Ottavino, and then from there it's a who's who of names that you don't really know much about. And Drew Smith, Brooks Raley, Michael Tonkin, I do know from the time in the Atlanta Braves. He was a decent relief pitcher, but not one that you're going to be confident to give the ball to hold a team or prevent runs or whatnot. This pitching staff as a whole is like I said, the best way I can describe it is a disaster. And it's going to be really tough to watch baseball games in that stadium, in Citi Field. Offensively, you do have some bats. Again, it's a matter of how much can they produce runs. Francisco Alvarez gets another year in the big leagues, and he's going to be taking over everyday catching duties. So, again, you're getting a little bit more with the younger side with him. Pete Alonso, we know what Pete Alonso is going to provide, but the issue for Pete has not been the beginning of the season.
He might be trade bait too, right, Jonathan?
I was going to go in that direction here in a second, but it's not what you get at the beginning of the season from him. It's what you don't get in the second half of the season with Alonso, that he struggles in the second half. So if that's the case, a potential trade of Pete Alonso might make more sense for the Mets to do so, to continue to build your minor league system and get cheaper and younger in certain areas that can provide and get, which ideally it would be pitching. If you're the Mets, trading Alonso could help that side of it. You have Jeff McNeil, who 2 years ago was one of the better hitters, who won the batting title, and then he tailored off last year in 2023. Brett Beatty at third base. Francisco Lindor, again, one of the better shortstops in the game. You know what you get out of Lindor. He's had some slow starts, but he at times catches fire. He's the opposite of Pete Alonso. Slow start at the beginning of the season, but when he catches fire in the second half. Brandon Nimmo, Harrison Bader's now in center field, and Starling Marte, not world beaters that you're getting in the outfield here. This is going to be, like I said, a very difficult year for the Mets. Not a lot of excitement that brings to my eye of what this team looks like. They're going to struggle, and they were a borderline. Correct me if I'm wrong, they were a last place team in 2023. I
don't remember the. Let me look. You might be right.
And because I know that it was the Mets, because the Mets and the Yankees were battling at last place in their divisions. I think the Yankees survived and the Mets did not. And if that's the case,
they finished fourth in the NL East.
Okay, so the Mets finished in fourth, so they avoided last place. And the issue as well with that is you still have the same team, and probably nothing has really changed right now with this group. So what entices me to say that they're going to improve if they did not make the moves necessary to improve? And I think that's going to be the case. This is, like I said, this will be a very tough year to watch baseball at Citi Field in Queens for Mets fans.
He's right.
Where do you got them finishing? You got them finishing last this year.
I do have them finishing last place. I think, like I said, they're going to, if things continue to go downhill, they will trade. You're talking about a new manager as well, and I didn't even mention this, a new manager who's a first-year manager in the big leagues. And then if potential trading of Alonso could really make things a little bit more difficult for them. So I think there could be a sell-off at some point at the deadline, and if that's the case, they're going to fall backwards even further, and I think they will be a last-place team in the NL East.
So let's go to the team. Sam, where do you like the Mets finishing?
I actually have them fourth because I'm not impressed with the other team we're about to talk about. even less more than the Mets. But I just to pump up Jonathan Grishman's tires. First line in the Athletic. Concerns for the Mets. This bullpen is garbage. Is the first line right out the gate. So well done, sir. Yeah, I have them fourth because what I see from the next team we're about to talk about is not good. In fact, I think it's a little worse. So,
yeah, I'm right there with you, Sam. I got them finishing fourth, and then the last team that we're going to preview, and then Jonathan, I want you to give us your World Series prediction. After we talk about the Nationals.
Yeah, I have to watch. So Washington Nationals. I'll say this: I'm a little bit more optimistic with this group because there is some talent with this team. They have grown. Some of the young kids have grown, and I think that's what they need. They continue to need these kids, growing more. Mackenzie Gore, Josiah Gray, and the 1-2 in your rotation. The only one that just really. And as a Braves fan, I'm very happy when Patrick Corbin pitches against the Braves because he absolutely is awful against the Atlanta Braves. It's basically home run derby when he pitches. I hope they continue throwing Corbin against Atlanta. But you have good young pitching at the top with Josiah Gray and Mackenzie Gore who are growing and learning more. You have some good prospects that are still continuing to come up as well. Jake Irvin has been a work in progress. You do have some decent pitching in your bullpen. I would say a little bit better than what you do have in New York. So, again, do you know much about these kids? No, you don't. But they have been serviceable over the last year in 2023 where they made them a little bit competitive and tough to play against if you're the Braves and Phillies when it was really crunch time. It wasn't easy games to face this group. Offensively, you have a lot of players that, again, same thing. It's just they're difficult. They're a tough team to face against. Joey Meneses is a good hitter. You do have Joey Gallo who's added to this roster, which again, I'm not really saying that Gallo is going to be a difference maker for them, but Gallo has had moments where he's a dangerous power hitter along with Joey Meneses. You have Luis Garcia Jr. At second base who has had moments where he plays well. CJ Abrams is the key for this team, though, offensively and really in the core group of the position players. Is CJ Abrams continue to grow? If he was one of the top prospects that was traded in the Juan Soto deal with the Padres that the Nationals needed to get, and they got him. Now it's a matter of him turning the corner to being a potential young superstar for the Nationals. And right now we haven't seen that just yet. This is the year they hope to be able to get that out of him, where he gets a little bit more success. Looking at his stats real fast here from 2023, 245 average, 18 home runs, 64 RBI, 712 OPS. He did steal 47 bases. So the 245 average is where it's hurting him. If he can get close to 270, I think that's a huge jump for his development. Being only 23 years old too right now, but if he can bat 270, he can get 22 home runs, 80 RBIs. You're talking about CJ Abrams turning the corner for this franchise, and that's what they need more than anything else. You do add Eddie Rosario in the outfield with Jesse Winker. You do have Victor Robles, who's another one who is just a pest at times for teams. And then Lane Thomas, who potentially could be a trade piece for this team at the deadline if they need to go in that direction, because Lane Thomas has had moments where he brings a lot of value. Again, just another player who's a pest to the big teams, so the Braves and Phillies throughout the season. He's been that way throughout his career. If you get him, if you're a team that needs an outfielder, you can get him away from the Nationals and be able to bring him in. He's a huge addition. That could be a huge addition for a team that's just needing that last piece. So there is some good players on this team. There's some young, exciting players. Again, they're still behind in their development. I'm not saying that this team is going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks of 2024, but I do think there is growth that we're going to see from this Nationals team and at least start working their way out of this rebuild here in the next couple of years, and it starts in 2024.
So you got them finishing fourth then?
I do have them finishing fourth, just a little bit ahead of the Mets. They're not going to be on the heels of the Marlins at third place, but they will be a little bit ahead. I give them about 3 to 4 games ahead of the Mets to finish fourth place.
Sam, the Nationals?
GM Mike Rizzo is a good scout. I truly believe that. But their time is not now. It's in the future. It's next year or the year after that Soto trade. So I still think it's just not going to happen for him this year. Where Jonathan thinks there'll be a little bit of ahead of the Mets, I think they're going to be a little bit behind. But I can see it going either way, honestly. But I think the Nationals are going to have a brighter future ahead, personally.
Agreed. Right there with you, Sam. I got them finishing last, but I think they're on the up and up. Like their manager, do like Rizzo as the GM as well. Jonathan, we previewed all 30 or 28 baseball teams. Is it 28? 28 or 30?
It's 30.
30. Okay. Yeah. Nonetheless, give us your World Series prediction.
124 World Series, you will see the Baltimore Orioles, who I believe, as I said to you guys, what the addition of Corbin Burns brings to this franchise is huge in the rotation. The young kids have got a taste of postseason play. They did not get a lot of success in 2023, but they got a taste of it. And you'll throw in a Jackson Holiday sighting at some point during the summer. That'll bring a lot of excitement to Baltimore into this team. But I think the Baltimore Orioles are going to grow a lot from what they learned in 2023 in the regular season and utilize what they failed to do in the 2023 postseason. I think we're going to see them be in the World Series against the Atlanta Braves. And again, just being the best. Again, I'm putting them on notice. This is a World Series.
You were going to say that?
World Series or bust. This is a World Series or bust year for the Atlanta Braves. I'm putting them on notice. You have to finish the job. You're talking about. I know y'all are wrestling fans here. So again, I'll go in this because I hear this at times. The Braves have to finish their story this year in 2024. The story is you cannot let the Philadelphia Phillies beat you in the postseason again. You got past the Dodgers when you lost them twice previously, and you were able to beat them in the NLCS to go to the World Series to beat the Astros. Now you're facing the same dilemma. You are facing the same obstacle, but it's a different team. But a team knocked you out in 2 years in a row when you were the better team, the higher up team, the highest seed, and you got outperformed, you got outplayed, and you got outclassed. The story has to be finished this year for the Atlanta Braves. You'll see the Atlanta Braves and the Baltimore Orioles in the World Series this year.
Woo! Sam, who do you like in the World Series?
I have the Braves and the Dodgers. That's who I'm going to go with. Yeah.
You can't have those two teams, dumbass. That's two National League teams. Jesus.
I know, buddy. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go. I'm not awake. I'm going to go Braves and shoot. I don't want to pick the Orioles like he did. I want somebody different. Hell. I'm going to go. Yeah, no, I'll go Orioles too. The money line's too good. I'm going to go Orioles. Shoot.
I am. Hey, Sam, we'll get you caught up eventually someday.
One day.
I like the. I'm right there with you.
Uh-oh.
I like the Orioles. And I think the Braves figure this thing out. I just think now with the Shohei stuff, it's going to be two little distractions in LA. So I'm going to go Braves, Orioles as well. That's so marked down. But the Orioles are winning, the son of a. Brett probably just gave the Bodkins KOD here. But nonetheless, Jonathan, before we get you out of here, what do you and the boys got going on this week?
Yeah, so we were supposed to be playing tomorrow. We got rained out. We had a lot of rain hit us in the last 24 hours. So we're getting a day off tomorrow as far as game wise, which is good. We need a little bit of a rest period. We played a lot of games in a lot of short amount of time. We kind of got a little bit of a step back on Saturday on on the road. We did not have a very successful road trip. So we get a chance to kind of reevaluate. We kind of get a chance to refigure and get ourselves planned out, ready for this weekend. We do play Thursday at home. No, I'm sorry, on the road on Thursday, and we're at home on Saturday. So again, an important conference game. Kind of get ourselves back on track and everything to where we need to be. And that's what we're viewing it right now. We're going to hit the reset button, get ourselves refocused, and plan out for the weekend where we can hopefully take a sweep and get ourselves back to the top of the conference.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah. Get them going. Push them back up. We got, we're right there though. So, hey, sometimes you got to lose every once in a while. Can't win them all, Coach.
Absolutely. Gives you a chance to kind of evaluate and see where we need to get better at. And again, that's the best way to do it is if you get knocked down a little bit, in which I'll say this, we got punched in the mouth. We got punched in the mouth figuratively. And, we did not answer the bell as what we were hoping for, especially after, again, riding a 9-game winning streak. You were expecting a little bit more out of our boys, and we didn't get that. So we have to reevaluate and get ourselves refocused and hopefully a little more hungry as we get as we're in the meat of it. Not a lot of time left, so we're hoping that this was a wake up call to get. We're not where we want to be still. We have a lot of work to do, and we're hoping that this week we put it together and get ourselves ready to go.
Hell yeah. We appreciate you joining us every Monday. Jonathan, we'll talk to you next Monday after you guys kick some more ass. And we'll have the first full week of baseball happening.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Appreciate it, guys.
See ya.
Hey, we'll see you next Monday, Jonathan. Give it up for everybody's favorite baseball coach, Jonathan Grishman. Well, Sam,
I don't know what's wrong with my
time for us to get out of here and for my internet to finally stop.
I don't know what's up with my stupid ass mind. I really thought the Dodgers were in the American League East. I really did. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why I thought that, but I did. I was like, Dodgers. They have good odds. They have good odds to make the World Series. Let's do it.
No. National League. Two National League teams.
We'll have to see.
So yeah, everybody's talking. We're gonna have to talk to Drew and see. Yeah, we're gonna have to get off here and watch it. Anyway, any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Yeah, it wasn't so bad two-manning it with you. It was pretty fun. I had a good time. Talked a lot of wrestling. It was fun.
My internet was awful tonight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was bad. I was like, oh man, it's like a satellite interview. The delay is incredible. It was.
Yeah, but it was awful.
We were all patient. It was okay. We had, active chat and everything. So no, we were fine. We were good. We were good, bud. Shake it off.
Yeah, it happens.
Totally.
So actually, my final thought today. So this morning I was scrolling on my Facebook memories, and I believe probably one of the last solo shows I did with the Founders Network. Dan Harris was on there, and I listened to that whole thing, and really the whole 45-minute show, just me and Dan chopping it up, and it really hit me. And I don't really know if anybody outside of my wife really believed in me and doing this and. Than Dan Harris did. And I just was thinking about him a lot today just due to that. He was really a great guy and really believed in all of us, really, but just really in the conversation, you don't think about it at the time, right? He's saying these nice things about me and even in the show, and then a year later he's not here. And I go back and watch it, and it's just like, man, I don't know if I appreciated him enough or appreciated even people in our lives enough while they're here. So just appreciate people while they're here because they could be gone tomorrow. And I truly miss my friend. Was one of the best guys, and just the whole conversation was great. And I don't know if that was the last time or not. I know it wasn't the last time we spoke. But I think it might have been one of the few last shows that we did, just me and him. And that was, just kind of sad, and happy at the same time. Luckily that it's out there and I can always go back and listen to it. But he just was a believer in us all and believer in myself. And so it was nice to hear my friend's voice one last time, and not one last time, but another time, and everything that he's done here at this network. So enjoy people while they're here, because you don't know if they're going to be here tomorrow. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Other than that, yeah, it was a good show, Sam. I enjoyed it with you. Yep. We'll be back Thursday night. A whole new lineup of sports. We'll talk about everything. And whatever's going on in the world, and we'll do a new top 10 list. I don't know what we're gonna do on the top 10 list. What should our top 10 list be?
I think we should venture out. No, maybe not. You want to do top 10 sports movies? Give that a shot.
We could do that. Yeah.
You don't like that idea. Okay, I can tell already.
Or top 10. Nah, I do. I don't mind it.
I'm in.
I don't mind it. I'm okay with that. So yeah, we'll do top 10 sports movies. I'm all right. I'm in. Yeah, that's just hard. All right. Well, nonetheless, I believe the following week, that Thursday, we'll do our top 10 wrestlers in honor of WrestleMania coming up.
Yes.
Because that'll be the last Thursday show before we do for Mania. And I think we're going to do a watch along with the Just Fans guy for night 2 of WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure. So
I can't wait.
You're going to join Sam, I believe, myself, and the guys from Just Fans. So
yes,
can't wait. It'll be a lot of fun. Not night 1, but night 2 for sure. So looking forward to it. Nonetheless, folks, be a friend, tell a friend, folks. We appreciate everybody, all the comments, sticking with us, even if you thought the topics at times were boring. But hey, you can always click it over or whatever. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll holler at you later. Iowa pulled it out, so that was great. And now it's USC and Kansas are playing. So did watch this Juju Watkins girl. She's really good. But nonetheless. See you Thursday, folks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.